Hey guys, welcome, and today I'm going to show you how to use Ghost. This video will be divided into three parts. So first is going to be the basics. Second, we are going to be talking about the next level stuff, ghosting at its finest. And finally, we will be talking about how to become a true ghoster. Just before we begin, I don't have a professional software or the editing skills to make this a really good video, so if it's a bit choppy or sketchy here and there, please bear with me. I'm trying my best to help you guys get to know and get to use Ghost better. Okay, we're going to quickly go over the skills and the abilities because we all know how she works. So we know that she has an ability called phasing that can be activated either by dashing back or automatically at the start of the fight if she is awakened. And upon phasing, all attacks have a 100% chance to miss for 2 whole seconds. Also at the same time, when you phase, Ghost converts all damage over time debuffs into Fury that boosts her base attack by 100% for 5 seconds, and the Fury Mastery comes in helpful here. Additionally, Ghost also gains a precision passive lasting 6 seconds, which guarantees her next hit to be critical, and Ghost can only crit through this mechanic, so she doesn't need the precision or greater precision mastery at all. If she initiates an attack or blocks an attack, phasing is deactivated. Also note, you can't phase if you have that precision passive up or are armor broken. Her critical hits can't be evaded either, and each non-critical hit has a 10% chance to stack a cruelty buff, which goes up to 5 at max. Charging a heavy attack for longer duration guarantees a cruelty buff on non-crit hits, and it also has a 50% chance to gain a Fury, which increases her base attack by 50% for 10 seconds. So this is a less stronger one, but it's a bit more helpful, and I will get to that in a minute. Specials, SP1 gives 3 seconds, it gives 3 precision passives for 6 seconds. SP2 gain a cruelty buff for 20 seconds and refresh all existing cruelties after the special ends. Do note that if you trigger the specials immediately after phasing, all hits of all the specials are guaranteed crits except for SP3. And SP3 converts all existing cruelties into passive cruelties, which is a bit helpful in situations when you're fighting Doc Strange. Signature ability starts the fight phasing, and whenever the opponent misses, you gain 0 to 5% max power based on sig level. I think I was at 3.5%. Going up to synergy, so Ant-Man synergy gives Ghost plus 15% attack per cruelty buff, and it doesn't include passive buffs, so SP3 converted passive cruelties don't work or don't apply, and the dexterity buff also applies, so you can see the difference, very marginal. Wasp synergy allows Ghost special attacks to be unblockable, and Hood synergy is very important, which allows Ghost to not take any damage while phasing, which includes Magic's Limbo, Dormammu's Degen, Domino's Crit Failure, and even Tank's Special 3. And in my opinion, this is much better than Gulk's Face Me ability, because Gulk could only get back 70% of the damage taken, but if you are very good and you play very precisely, you can reduce that damage by 85 to 90% as opposed to 70%. Quickly, we are also going to look at one other ability, one other synergy that is actually under Wasp's list of synergies. So when Ant-Man and Ghost and Wasp, of course, are together in a team, everybody gets 25% attack, base attack, obviously. So let's talk about the basics. When you start a fight, either dash back, or if you have an awakened Ghost, let the phase initiate. So we're going to talk about phase intercepts. As soon as the opponent misses his first hit, go right in with a 4-hit combo that ends with light attack. Do not do a 5-hit combo of any type, or it becomes harder to keep an aggressive stance or phase back in time. After the 4-hit combo, dash back and wait for the opponents to come at you, and as soon as he misses his first hit, repeat the process. So this is the first and foremost thing that any new player must practice. Phase intercepting is the very foundation of learning how to ghost. Try starting off with phase intercepting only first hit, and as you gain more practice and learn about all the different animations of basic attacks of different champions, you will be able to intercept after 2 or 3 hits. Notice as you're fighting, you're also gaining cruelty buffs, which increases your damage on the crit. Now, how to I'm gonna let this video play a bit. Okay, so yeah, we're talking here. The reason why it's slow is because we're talking about how to launch a special attack. Firstly, try to dash back with your left thumb and hit the special 2 button once you have the special 2. You will notice that a few times you might not be able to land a critical hit on all 3 hits of the SP2. Now, try to dash back with your right thumb and tap SP2. Here you can see yourself landing 3 monstrous critical hits. Not this one, but in general when you do it. Now try to practice landing SP2 by dashing back with your right thumb and tapping the special button with your left thumb. This again is very crucial when playing Ghost. Some people might be able to do both the actions with the left thumb, but there is a trick that I will tell you towards the end of the video that is going to be helpful if you start practicing this from now. Notice that upon using SP2, you are gaining a cruelty buff, and at the same time, after the special ends, you refresh all the active cruelties. Ghost relies on playing aggressive and keeping those cruelties up. Also, the moment I use the right and left thumb technique, you can barely notice Ghost actually dashing back, and the special attack just initiates. So I'd like you guys to practice these 2 things in the beginning. This is the very basic of learning how to ghost. Get used to the animations, make sure that you're comfortable going in after the first hit, and make sure you're using the right and left thumb technique. Next, we will be looking at ghosting at its finest, which I call as the second chapter or second section, and there we're going to learn a bit more about her next level stuff. Okay, so ghosting at its finest. Over here, we all know that we need to modify ghost damage if she's not really ranked up, or if she doesn't have, or if you're not running suicide. So Ghost relies a lot on her cruelty buffs, and the Ant-Man synergy helps in increasing the damage output. But in order to enhance your damage even further, you can parry and heavy attack with the hopes of good RNG, which leads to cruelty and fury buffs, not like the one that you're seeing over here. Not only do these fury buffs enhance your base attack by 50%, but Ant-Man synergy grants another 15% attack per buff. So a great way to maximize damage is by beginning to corner your opponent at first. Once they're in the corner and are completely empty of power, parry them once and chain heavy attacks till they gain a bar of power, as you saw right there, and it's probably running on the screen right now. You can examine the timing. Of course, timing is key always with Ghost, and the more you practice, the better you get at it. Before doing 100% LOL, I would run this same champion at least, I don't know, for 4 hours straight, and I understood this technique worked best when you have them in the corner and are chaining your heavies. So here you can see with Red Hulk you can get a massive damage just because you can not corner lock, but chain your heavies in the corner. Okay, so the next step would be phasing specials. Now that you know how to increase your damage output, it's time to look into how to completely phase through special attacks. And this obviously requires an extensive know-how of all special attack animations in MCOC, all the while still keeping the phase timer in the back of your head. You can see here, not here, but in a minute, that we completely phase out of his SP1, but could only phase the second part of his SP2, and not all specials you would be able to completely phase through, especially Collector. The more you practice by either dueling or in event quests, the sooner you will be able to master this technique. At the same time, You can also pair this up with the baiting specials. Baiting specials obviously differs from fight to fight and content to content, such as Labyrinth, Alliance War, Alliance Quest. Alliance Quest is slightly harder because the AI is a bit more passive. Event Quest, the uncollected stages of Event Quest is easier to bait specials. But usually after you finish your 4-hit combo and you idle yourself for less than half a second, the AI tends to throw their special immediately. In case this does not happen, you can simply dash back while having the opponent cornered, which is important, and relatively in the range of their specials having a chance to hit you. Once you dash back and idle for a second, they will throw their special attack almost immediately. And this, of course, is not a guaranteed method to bait specials, but it works more often than not. The key is always to corner. Any good Ghost player will tell you to make sure you corner your opponent, especially in a long fight like in Labyrinth. It will help you a lot. I'm gonna let this video play so you can see how exactly does the baiting special and phasing as well work. So you're also learning about timing. Usually I was able to phase through Falcon's SP1 completely, but at times I would dash back a bit too early. Vision is pretty straightforward, and so is Hulkbuster. Hulkbuster's SP2 I wasn't able to do really good unless I would tank the first hit of his SP2 and phase out of his of the beam from the second. Okay, so that was pretty much what I'd like you guys to practice. Firstly, how to increase damage. Secondly, phasing special and baiting specials and getting your opponents in the corner. And this will help you a lot when you're playing Ghost in tougher content. Now we're going to go to the third section of this video, which is how to become a pro Ghoster to be the best in class. And I would only recommend you guys to come here if you have already mastered the first two sections, if you're very thorough and comfortable using Ghost the way I mentioned above. Okay, so here I'm going to show you how to gain power faster than your opponents. In order to gain power faster than your opponents, you need to be very comfortable with the opponent's basic attack animations. As you can see, when Ghost starts a fight, she can usually take 3 to 5 hits to her phase and and gain a lot of power without doing anything. Dispose your precision passive or simply wait it out. And then here you will notice in a bit that Ghost gained 2 bars of power and Winter Soldier isn't even at 1. And this will help you a lot in fights against the Magic or Black Widow and Labyrinth or anywhere where you want to control their special attacks or their power bar. This again of course requires a lot of practice, and you need quite a bit of time to get until this stage, and I do not recommend you guys to try this trick against champions who have 2 hits on their final medium attack. I'm going to get to recall in a bit, such as Infinity Man or Moon Knight, who have 2 hits in their final attack, so it's not advised to do that. Okay, so avoiding recoil damage. If you look at all the guides on YouTube, they just tell you to simply dash back after SP2, but they don't tell you when to do that. Now, first and foremost, Ghost is perhaps the most suicide-friendly champion out there. Even double immune champions or champions that benefit massively from suicides yet don't take damage from bleed or poison, such as Corvus or Omega Red, do not do what Ghost does as effectively as she does. Other champions take recoil damage from their SP1 or SP2, in most cases, which is the highest damage dealing special. But Ghost can completely avoid it thanks to the hood synergy and some pro skills, obviously. As soon as you end your SP2 and Ghost comes back on both of her feet, dash back to phase and avoid recoil damage. So timing is key over here, and in order to know exactly when to dash back, you need a lot of practice. As you see in this video, when Ghost lands her third hit, of her SP2, she hops back to stand on her feet, and the moment both of her feet touch the ground, you need to already be initiating the dash back. This will take quite a bit of practice, and you won't be able to get it in 1st, 2nd, 5th, 10th, or even 20th of try. When I started out, I could barely do it 2 out of 10 times, and when I did my first path of Labyrinth, I could only do 80% of the time. But now, if I am focused, you need a lot of focus. So if I'm 100% focused, I can avoid 100%. I can phase her recoil damage 100% of the time. Also notice that when you successfully phase the recoil damage, both the recoil and phase text pops up at the same time. Now, how to counter projectile-based specials. Taking the example of Winter Soldier's SP2 or Infinity Man SP1 or Doc Strange, when you begin phasing and let the bullets miss you, you can initiate a dash attack towards Winter Soldier or the opponent and counter them as soon as the special animation ends. Now, remember I told you about the left and right thumb technique. At times, if you initiate a dash attack towards the opponent using your left thumb, you might block at first and then continue the dash attack, which results in you taking a hit because phase has already ended since you blocked the attack. And this is you guys would be pro and you might not really need to do this, but if you do it through your right thumb, there is no chance that you would initiate a block, because you can only block from the left part of the screen. Now if you ask why doesn't the phase end since Ghost is initiating an attack, the reason is simple: because Ghost initiates her attack's animation when she is close to Winter Soldier and not far away from the opponent. She begins dashing towards Winter Soldier and only ends her phase when she initiates her attack, which has to be in close proximity. Of course, this needs a lot of practice, and I'm pretty sure you can find many opponents that against whom this comes handy. Now, how to ensure the AI remains aggressive and does not adapt to your playstyle. This is a tactic that is very easy to learn, but not many ghosters use this, as they tend to overlook and take the almighty Kabam's AI for granted. All the magic specialists know that the AI is always scrambled, and they keep on going back and forth, keep on changing their stance. This is exactly what happens with Ghost as well. So instead of repetitively using a 4-hit combo plus phase intercept, try to mix up things. At first, you will need to get your opponent to the corner and get in the habit of doing a 4-hit combo plus phase intercept 2 to 3 times, and then do a 2-hit combo and then phase intercept, and then follow up with a 3-hit combo and phase intercept. And make sure you never end the combo with a medium. Stick to light attacks at all times. This is easy to practice, and I'm pretty sure everybody can get this done, as it's pretty straightforward. Instead of 4 hits, you're just using 2 or 3 hits. You can see here it works very well against Cyclops, and all the time when I am dashing, when I'm countering the special attack of Cyclops, I'm always using my right thumb, because it ensures that I do not block his attack by mistake. The only time I am using my left thumb is here when I am countering, when I'm retaliating with the medium. So one more thing, you might see the AI stutter step a bit, and this is a good sign. It shows that the AI has their brain scrambled and is waiting to see your next move. And over here the AI will move freely, especially in longer fights, and throw their specials the moment they get an opportunity. So this is my guide to about how to ghost. If you guys need some more information, or if you have some particular cases or questions, please let me know in the comments. I do some videos about Ghost, but it's generally just for me or my alliance mates, because a couple of them use Ghost in their attack team, but they are not very fluent with it. Yeah, please let me know if you have any questions or something.